Chelsea plan to move for Raheem Sterling should Romelu Lukaku depart. With Romelu Lukaku's departure looking increasingly likely, Chelsea will look to bring in a high-profile attacker to replace him, and Raheem Sterling is a name that has cropped up in recent reports. It is fair to say the Belgian's return season did not go to plan. His goal tally was far lower than expected, and he constantly found himself in the media for undesired reasons. The striker has made his desire to return to Inter Milan known to the Chelsea hierarchy, and recent reports have painted this return as seemingly inevitable. Chelsea has been linked to Raheem Sterling in the past, and a report today by Simon Mullock claims that the club will make a move for the Englishman should Lukaku's likely exit come to fruition. The 27-year-old is entering the final year of his contract and seems to be open to the idea of leaving Manchester City. He has seen his domestic minutes decrease the last 2 seasons, which has likely given him pause in contract negotiations. Chelsea's project would certainly appeal to him, and the Blues would have the financial capabilities to make this deal happen should they choose to pursue it. Chelsea submit proposal for Gleison Bremmer. According to new and emerging reports, Chelsea have reportedly submitted a proposal to Torino centre-back Gleison Bremmer as they look to begin working on defensive signings. Chelsea have been linked to the likes of Jules Koundé, Alessandro Bastoni and more, but could now turn their attention to the Brazilian defender, Bremer. Koundé is of interest to Barcelona and has just undergone surgery following the French international camp, with Chelsea still set on signing the Frenchman. However, there is a true possibility that Chelsea could sign 2 centre-halves this summer as they look to replace a number of outgoings this summer. Bremer could be a great coup for the price that Torino may want for the defender, with him being a cheaper alternative to other defenders. According to Football London, Chelsea have reportedly entered the race and are in the process of submitting an opening bid for Torino defender Gleison Bremmer amid the Jules Koundé transfer impasse. Chelsea are working on the exit of Romelu Lukaku, but could also be in the process of trying to tie down their first signing of the summer. Football London also report that Di Marzio has echoed the claims about Bremer. They stated, he reported late on Friday night that the current world champions have submitted an important proposal for a player who has the potential to be Thiago Silva's long-term in the future. Chelsea interested in Lazio midfielder Sergej Milinković-Savić. Having been linked to him in the past, Chelsea is again reportedly interested in bringing midfielder Sergej Milinković-Savić to London. According to a recent report by Corriere dello Sport, Thomas Tuchel is interested in the Serbian midfielder as he looks to retool his squad this summer. The 27-year-old has been in the transfer window in the past, and the report claims that Lazio has decided on a price tag of around £51.3 million this summer, with other interested clubs such as Arsenal and Newcastle currently reluctant to meet it. The report also claims that Lazio is interested in Chelsea pair Emerson Palmieri and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. This could be one way for Chelsea to beat out other clubs' interest and to drive the Serbians' price down, should Lazio act on their supposed interest in these two. After a disappointing season, Thomas Tuchel will be keen to make amends next season and will likely see this transfer window as a potential catalyst for trophies next season. With the long-term futures of regulars Jorginho and N'Golo Kante both uncertain, the Blues will need to plan for their potential departures, and Milinković-Savić would be an intriguing target for this midfield revamp. Inter Milan receive important proposal from Chelsea for Milan Skriniar. Chelsea are in the market for new defenders this summer, and one of their new targets could be Milan Skriniar of Inter Milan, as reports suggest the Italian club have received an important proposal for the player. The Blues are already in the process of working on a deal to sign Jules Koundé from Sevilla, but are also said to be in the market for another defender, with the target possibly being Skriniar. Chelsea are in negotiations with Inter for a deal that would see Romelu Lukaku return to his former club on loan, with all parties currently confident over a deal. However, Inter have already told Chelsea that negotiations for any of their players would remain separate to those of the negotiations over Lukaku. Skriniar is a central defender that would be a great addition to the Chelsea side. However, the Blues will undoubtedly face competition for the player from the likes of PSG and more. According to Italian transfer journalist Di Marzio, Inter have received an important proposal from Chelsea for Milan Skriniar. Negotiations are underway. Chelsea will be looking to bolster their squad this summer under the backing of their new American owners, looking to make a good impression. Chelsea keeping an eye on Lisandro Martinez of Ajax. Chelsea are in the market for defenders this summer, with a number of targets already rumoured. However, Chelsea now are said to be keeping an eye on Ajax centre-back Lisandro Martinez, according to reports. The Blues have lost a number of strong senior defenders ahead of the summer window, including the likes of Antonio Rudiger. Chelsea will have to work on recruiting correctly, as the new American ownership will have to back Thomas Tuchel for the club to be able to compete with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. With the Blues already working on a deal for Jules Koundé, they will have to turn their attention to other central defenders this summer. Martinez is primarily a central defender but is also known to be able to play in defensive midfield and has shown a good standard in both positions. According to a new report from 90 Minimum, Arsenal are leading the chase to sign Lisandro Martinez from Ajax, but Chelsea, Newcastle and Tottenham are also keeping a close eye on the situation. Arsenal have been linked to be ahead in the race to sign Martinez, but Chelsea are keeping a close eye should an opportunity open up to sign the player. Chelsea can find Lukaku replacement a little closer to home. As Romelu Lukaku's loan departure seems increasingly likely, there could be a fine substitute in wonder kid Armando Broja. The Chelsea Academy graduate spent the 21-22 season on loan to fellow Premier League club Southampton, and the 20-year-old did not fail to impress. There are rumours suggesting that the Albanian could be on his way to West Ham United, but as posted by The Athletic, Thomas Tuchel should start seriously considering the striker. Ralph Hasenhüttl has also expressed intent in regards to signing the man permanently, but, with his long-term contract tied to the Blues, he won't go for cheap. Broja managed 10 goals and assists under Hasenhüttl, and it's easy to visualize the striker following in the success of previous Cobham graduates, such as Mason Mount and Andreas Christensen, with a starting position in blue. However, whether the Albanian will suit Tuchel's vision as he considers players like Robert Lewandowski, is a separate question and one that can only be answered by the man himself. Barcelona put pressure on Cesar Azpilicueta to hand in Chelsea transfer request. Barcelona want Cesar Azpilicueta to put in a transfer request and force his way out of Chelsea this summer. The Spaniard has had his contract automatically extended by a year but reportedly wants to return back home to Spain. Since joining the Blues in 2012, the 32-year-old has emerged as a crowd favourite at Stamford Bridge, and while he is open to leaving, he is reluctant to leave the club on a sour note. However, according to The Sun, Barcelona are growing frustrated with Azpilicueta and are keen for him to hand in a transfer request. The report goes on to say that the defender will sit down with Thomas Tuchel in the coming days to try and find an amicable solution. Barcelona's manager Xavi wants to sign Azpilicueta as he is short of options at right back following Dani Alves's departure. Chelsea, on the other hand, are reluctant to let their captain leave, with Antonio Rudiger and Andreas Christensen having already exited the club. Azpilicueta's ability to play in a back three is hugely advantageous, with Thiago Silva, Malang Sarr and Trevor Chalobah the only central defensive options available to Tuchel. Meanwhile, the West London club are believed to want to sign Sevilla's Jules Koundé but face competition from Barcelona. Speaking about Azpilicueta's situation in May, Tuchel suggested he wanted to keep hold of the player. He said, "We had a lot of these talks because I think it felt like he won everything after the Club World Cup, so I can understand these thoughts. That maybe a cycle is at its end. Then there's also a change of ownership and he played only under this owner, so maybe it increased his second thoughts about his situation. His extension kicked in at the same time and he loves the club, he loves the challenge and he loves to be here. Given the fact that we lose key defenders already, it's not the ideal scenario to think about losing Azpi, even though I can understand his personal point of view."
That is all Chelsea News today. If you like the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much. Goodbye and see you by tomorrow news.